tried to spice up our set a little bit here, so I added some decorations and random pillows because I was watching Ladies in Tangents, and I've never, like, watched them, but I, like, actually watched one of their Instagram clips and noticed how much stuff is on their walls.
They
and I was
have a
like,
lot of stuff.
It looks so homey, and I was like, ours looks like shit.
A lot of theirs is, like, fan gifts, though, too. So.
If you want to write to us, we'll put it on the wall. It just says bitch right across the
That was so mean.
Do you want to light the candle again or no?
We
no,
can.
it's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
So
also, if you're audio only, go to YouTube for that to make sense, and also then you can see Alex's, like,
I got
red.
new hair.
You say red, it looks kind of pink to me.
It's like pink to purple at the moment, but because, well, I had said I want to go back to red, and then when she told me, like, the violet to red ratio that she does, it used to be 50-50, but that faded so fast, and I showed her a picture of, like, when I was at the Ed Sheeran concert, I was like, that was my favorite color of it. So it's like 70 violet, 30 red.
Okay.
So I was like, to me it seems a little bit more purple and black than I was used to, but I again got the same. Everyone was like, yep, like she is back in full Alex mode.
I think it changes in different lightings too.
Definitely, for sure.
At our co-write on FaceTime, it looked more red.
Yeah. Which is why I like it. And when it's out in the sun, it's like super bright. But then like if you're just like normal lighting, it's a lot darker, which is what I like. Yeah. So she's back, and I got so much cut off of it too. I didn't realize. I said, look, my ends are so dead. When she like poofed it and like just like slimmed it down, I mean, it's still thick. Like my ponytail is still, she's still thick, but like it was a whole head of hair. Like it was like 5 pounds worth of hair on the ground. It was disgusting. And it was so dead. And so I knew it needed a trim, and I was like, look, I think I was supposed to have a cut with another artist, but she was like, let's just cut it first and then dye it. And I was like, yes, which...
Well, yeah.
But I never
cut
liked...
first because that would save on...
It saved on a lot of time, too. I think it was the fastest
time, but
we've
also,
ever done it.
like, product.
Yeah. Well, she doesn't charge me by the product, luckily, which is nice. So
but
some
still
do, and that's when it gets really expensive. But
for
like,
her, though, too.
Yeah.
So
Well, no, and
it.
it took 4 hours to do anyways, and at my average time is like 2 to 3 hours with it sitting in my hair and everything, just because of how thick it is. And I was like, this is the fastest that it's ever been done. Like, so now I'll just do touch-ups, because my thing was, the reason I switched from red to purple at the beginning of this year anyways, minus being my fuck it year, was the fact that the red was so hard to upkeep, and I said, I'm just going to dye it, and then I'm going to go back to brunette, my natural hair color. And I just missed my red hair so much. I was like, it just was me, and I didn't even realize how long I had it for, that I was like, holy crap. And so she's back. She's healthy. I love the length too. I'm not a short-haired girly. I would love a little pixie bob cut kind of thing going on, but like my, like, you know, like the ratio of like chin to chest is supposed to be a certain way so that it looks cute and not like little girl-esque.
I just think of ears.
My hair,
my issue.
I just have like such a round face and everything too, but like I guess I'm now starting to get a little older, so now it's also starting to look nice. Or it's just the fact that normally when I get it cut, I hated it when she first cut it, because again, it was so poofy, and this is the first time somebody has like taken the poof out of the bottom of it, and I love the length all of a sudden. So I'm like, maybe it was just that. Hold on, let me fix this. Maybe it was just always too poofy. Stay. Okay. It was just always too poofy. And now I'm like, okay. I have not washed it yet since I got it done. I always love to like keep it in for as long as I can.
Yeah.
Because
the color on your
the first time I wash
be.
this, it's always a bitch to wash because the color. And now I'm like, once it's not styled completely, I'm wondering how I'm going to style it so that it does not turn back into little boy, little lad haircut with the short length. Curling it will be interesting because again, and I think too, I will be able to upkeep this now and actually keep it healthy because I know how to keep the red hair. Like I know how to maintain this really well, and keep it healthy. So I'm excited now to let it grow out. Because like I said, it was just so dead and gross, and it was not healthy, and now it looks and feels so healthy again. And that was a long tangent about my hair, But
yeah, do you want to say hello?
Oh, hi, welcome to the Music Lens podcast with me, Alex Allegra.
And Katie.
Didn't think I was ever even going to talk about my hair other than to say it's red now. But she's back. And I posted a TikTok. I haven't done photos yet because I'm going to like actually reintroduce the hair like I did with my purple with an actual photo shoot. That's tomorrow's job. Maybe even tonight if I feel like it, because I at least have makeup on. I just have to get dressed then. But what was I gonna say? Oh, but I did a TikTok and I was like, oh, I am so doing the, oh, look what you made me do reputation. And I was hoping it was gonna line up with the bead so that like it got double, but it didn't. It didn't. So it's okay. I'm also supposed to get a tattoo in 2 weeks, and I'm wondering, or no, not 2 weeks, in a month. And I just auditioned for this musical, and I'm in it, and now I'm like, should I get the tattoo, or should I reschedule it? But it's the second time I'd be rescheduling it.
Yeah.
But I feel like it should happen after this musical, because it's supposed to be set in the 1950s.
Oh, yeah.
And I play a 16-year-old girl.
Yeah. Where is it? Oh, yeah, it'll be visible.
I was like, if it wasn't visible, but I want it on my forearm, and then I'm like, maybe I just get it on my other ribs because I already have one. But the whole point of me getting it on my forearms was I wanted people to see I have tattoos, because right now it's really like, she doesn't have any, which is my boyfriend's whole point of getting tattoos, where he gets his. He doesn't want them to be visible. But I'm like, I want people to see this one. So like, I don't know. I know that's so stupid to care, but I was like, this one no one ever sees. Like, I love this piece so much. But because even when I wear a bathing suit, the flower gets cut in half. So it's like, I just want people to see it in full. Like, it's so pretty. I love it. But I'm not just walking around
with your side hanging
with
out.
My side, yeah, I was trying to say that without saying with my titties out.
It's on the side,
it's a family show, so no.
Is it? I don't even bother listening to check if you swear on episodes. I know you said that on one of the episodes. I just automatically say it's an explicit episode, just to be safe.
I tried to be better because my family watches. Oh. And I'm afraid sometimes, one of these days, like, one of our careers is just gonna skyrocket and this shit's gonna be found. So they're gonna be like old interviews of Alex Allegra. See the random shit she says. Headlines.
It's all good. Yeah.
Speaking of celebrity headlines, that's what today's episode is about, because Katie doesn't know that. So this is my surprise episode to Katie. So I have an explanation for why. And I figured I'd just tell you on the pod. So it's going to be a little bit of mix of new music, because we agreed that we cannot do another end of the year thing because we're not having another 5-part series. So like every so often when some big projects are out, we'll take some time to talk about it. I've chosen today for us.
Oh, okay.
That, and then some other big celebrity headlines that I think are really important to talk about. And I want to say start a discussion, but really there's no discussion to be found about it. I just want to look back and see where celebrities have kind of gotten to in today's day and age and why they've gotten that way. Particularly a little sprinkle of foreshadowing here. The Chapel Roan post, if you have not heard about it. We're going to be discussing that. And the real reason was because Katie and I were like, oh, Alex is going to do tour booking. And I didn't want to do research for this episode this week. I'm not going to lie. I've been insanely busy, and I'd like to make a formal apology to people that... which I assume I think a lot of our listeners kind of binge watch all at once. Yeah. They don't really, or don't like notice pick out episodes here and there.
It comes out.
And we don't have as consistent of a like, oh my God, you did not post on Wednesday. And so my schedule in life has been a little crazy lately with a number of projects that I'm working on. So I apologize sincerely that things have not been on time. That is not anything other than me just having a lot due on the same nights for things. And so I just wanted to apologize, because it was never my intention to, if anyone is like watching episode to episode, or like I just like to know that people like I really do put a lot of work and love and care into these podcasts, and there's a reason that we're still doing them. So that formal apology. I was going to say this is like mental health check-in kind of an episode, but also like I don't think mental health check-ins are really what we're doing when we're just catching up, because this is a music podcast, and it's music geared towards a lot of different avenues, and mental health is one of the big things in the music industry that I'd like to open up and talk more about. But I think we need like a more fun name for it instead of mental health check-in episodes. It's just like a Alex and Katie headlines, like what is going on in their lives?
Catch-up type stuff.
So I didn't want to do research, all that to say, and we were gonna do tour booking, but I figured because last week's episode and the week before that were both kind of like informational ones, that we needed a fun one. Okay. Yeah. So, and yours was also, because sneak peek, we do record some episodes together. Today's being one of them, with another one. And that one's very informative and informational, so I didn't want there to be too much of that, and we haven't done just a fun episode, and honestly, as much as I hate it, which is part of the reason that we're going to talk about some things today, because I have some things with the new Sabrina Carpenter album that have got me thinking, and my boyfriend was like, you're being so negative about it, but I don't think it's negative. I think it's just informative and like maybe a little critical of a view of things, but I just think it's interesting, especially with what we've talked about with how live music is being presented at the moment. I think it has to do with some of that stuff, which is why I want to bring it up. And so yes, maybe it's a little critical, but it was more just me like taking an avid interest and a deeper look at to what is being consumed at the moment. So I wanted to share my thoughts here on the pod as well.
Okay.
Maybe it's just me doing this podcast that has made me think that way. So
I don't
know. So these are, I think I'm going to put like a little thing here. Ready?
Okay.
These are Alex and Katie's headlines.
Sure.
I'm having fun trying to edit things. Okay. Did you notice I did that on the last episode?
I haven't watched it.
I'm rude. No, at one point I put like, hee, I did not cut this part out. Because I said it. And I was like,
said we'll cut this out and then didn't.
And then I didn't. So I put in the corner. I was like, hee, I did not cut that out. Every once in a while, I'm just like, hee.
Okay.
And I feel like that kind of shit's also going to bite me in the ass later down the road. We're going to have some new word like, what's a word right now that kids use for like lame and like stupid. What's the word I'm thinking of?
I don't know, because I thought you just knew word in general before you gave it a definition. I was like, it's very demure.
Yeah, it's going to be something like that shit later down the lines, and kids are going to be like, she is so like, oh, she's so cringe. Like, I feel like that's going to be me in like 20 years. So it's okay. I don't care.
Okay.
It's going to be like, but it's going to be some different word other than cringe, because apparently cringe is now cringe. So, like, I don't fucking know.
I don't know.
Lately now, too, which I think goes with the, like, viral moments of people's lives, people just make up words now just to make up slang. Like, I know it's, like, a generational thing, but I feel like it's, like, so consistent that something switches so fast, and again, it's just because of technology and social media and all that stuff that people are just always trying to be the next trendsetter, the next like there was everything.
Like I guess it was like a premiere for the season or something for Only Murders in the Building. I didn't know TV shows had those.
Well, this year, okay, so the next season of Only Murders in the Building is them casting their podcast into a movie, so that's why they're playing on all of that kind of stuff.
Well, they're interviewing Selena. What are their names? No, the other two, the two guys, Martin Short and what's the other guy's name?
I always forget the other guy. Which is silly because he's in like everything.
Literally all of them are like super big into like it's not just Short, this show, but like a bunch of
Selena
things.
Gomez and...
But they asked like which character on this season is like the most demure or something. And Selena's like, I haven't taught them this yet.
Yeah.
This was just... That was funny. My favorite part of the video was... They're like, Selena, you had a birthday this year. And then the guy whose name we can't remember was like, everyone's had a birthday this year. And they meant just like this year as in like recently. Like, it's gonna technically, there's other people who haven't had a birthday yet because they're later in the year. I think that's what they meant. But it was just funny He's
Steve Martin.
Steve Martin.
I knew it was Martin because I was like, it's Martin Short
type.
and then it's something Martin, but I couldn't think of it.
Yeah. Yeah. So Steve's like, everyone had a birthday. I thought that was funny. But no, she's like, I haven't taught him demure yet.
Yeah.
So, I feel
Martin
that way
Shorts.
too, even just like as a 26-year-old. I'm like, what is this trend?
Right,
like, if I don't catch on right away, I have to figure out what's happening.
I love Martin Short's character in Only Murders in the Building.
He has
a bulldoggy. I love that show so much.
I haven't watched it yet, but I know of it just because I feel like it's popular enough that to know of it at least. But
it's been running for quite a while.
Yeah,
lately,
I think it was
TV
like 4 or 5
shows have been getting super
season.
cut lately, and so they're still going.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start.
Oh no.
New music. We'll start there. Okay. So the big ones that I had at least were Post Malone and Sabrina Carpenter's new albums have come out. Mm-hmm. Thoughts, opinions, things you would like to say, and then how many more do you have?
I have like 1.5.
Okay, good.
Yeah, Post Malone into country music, like I feel like he fits very well, and this was a really good album, and I like that he it's like a lot of collaborations, but then he also has songs that is just him. I'm glad he put out that like surprise, I have 9 more songs and they're all solo songs, because like I think honestly, that also adds to like his credibility of like he's not just relying on these collaborations.
No, but I think it would have been really cool for somebody who, especially because he's doing it I think out of respect of the genre and all the people that have already created a big name in the genre. And so I really think it would have been really cool if he had done the soul album as all collabs.
Oh, okay.
And then the 9 extra as
solo because he does have a couple like
there's like 3 on the core album that are just him, so most of the album is I just think it would have been a really cool project. At first I was just kind of joking, and the more I thought about it though, I thought it would have been really cool to just have all collabs.
But I don't know, I love it. The writing's really good. Obviously he collaborated with a bunch of Nashville songwriters, not just artists but like soul songwriter people too. It's interesting that there's a lot of ones that have like sounds that sound like other songs though. But
but again, I think that goes with what we talked about of the fact that this was such a smooth transition from the last album, and the fact that for some reason he makes generic sound good. In the best possible way.
Wrong One, so the first song on the album with Tim McGraw.
Yes, I was like, we need to talk about it.
The hook line, you can literally sing the hook of Real Good Man over it.
But that might have been on purpose since it was with
because they
Tim.
also reference Real Good Man and Don't Take the Girl, but the line is like, please don't take the girl in that song.
My favorite line,
I like that he referenced other Tim songs.
My favorite line in that song is that in the beginning, post verse, he says, I got fuck it money, and then money. I got fuck you money, and then in Tim's it's I got country money, and Katie didn't hear that, and I was like, you didn't notice, and I didn't even notice
the first verse. Honestly.
The only reason I caught it was because I was like, that's interesting to cuss in a Tim McGraw song, and then I was like, oh, Tim's not doing it, and I thought that was very funny. I think honestly that was a good move for Tim's career. I think Tim McGraw has kind of gone on the wayside, and maybe
his last album was really good though. It was I think it was last fall, so we didn't talk about it in our stuff, but I really liked his latest album.
Okay. I just haven't liked his stuff. I haven't liked his stuff as projects for a hot second, just because I feel like he started to become one of those people that just mass produced his stuff instead of taking time, and I feel like Tim McGraw's albums have normally been very like, take your time, pick the songs, but...
Yeah, I don't think he's like necessarily as bad as other artists of just like throwing stuff out there just to throw stuff out there.
Yeah.
But
he hasn't had like a solid single in a while, has he?
Standing Room Only was on, at least it was on CMT. I don't know radio wise, but I know the video was like on CMT's countdown for several weeks just from like transcribing it. But yeah. Trying to think if there's any more thoughts for Post. He did his Grand Ole Opry debut and had like a bunch of people at that, so that was nice that it was like a couple days before the album dropped, so he played songs from the album with the people that are featured live, so got a little taste of it before it came out. And then he also sang Sunflower just to like end the night, I guess. They're like, we're gonna do one more, and there's Sunflower and has some fiddle added on.
I think that's because that's one of the biggest songs of his career. So like everybody from every, and it's one of those songs that it really doesn't sound, it sounds like just a regular pop song. So I think it probably leaned the most towards country in general. And it wasn't one of his like rap songs like he normally puts out. So
yeah, he kept calling. Sorry, Brad. He was just like, everyone give it up for this young man. I'm like, he's older than you by like 20 years, dude. But I loved that Brad and Vince were there, and Sam was like freaking out because those are his top 2 artists, and he wished that we could have gone, but we had a round that night. So even if we could have had a way to get in and didn't have to spend, I don't know how much my coworker spent on tickets that night. Really? She just said they're like way higher than normal because of it being post debut.
Yeah,
Lainey was there too, so it was like it's his favorite people, and then Lainey. So it would have been great to see that, but we watched it at home. Like he got home from work maybe a minute before I got home from our round, and he like already was pulling it up. I'm like, I guess we're gonna stay up and watch this even though it's like midnight. Like, we'll just watch this first before going to bed. But I'm excited to see what else Post is gonna do, because I'm feel like he kind of wants to just, if he's true to the tweet that he said a while ago, he genuinely wants to just be a country artist.
Well, I think for him especially, he can kind of do, like, he did a little bit of rock, he's done a little bit of country. I could see him doing a whole rock album, which is kind of what his third album was kind of like that. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but he did some songs with like Ozzy Osbourne and things of that nature. But I think him and Miley Cyrus would make such a freaking cool song, because she also does the rock and country and pop, and so like that would be such a cool collab. But I think he could just do whatever he wants. I think he is like the fun of music, of literally just getting to sing your dreams, of doing and experimenting and being an authentic artist, and it works for him. Although it is funny when he says that he's a shitty songwriter on stage all the time, and he's like, I'm gonna sing some shitty songs because all I wanted to do was sing for people. So it's like funny that he says stuff like that, but then he has such a huge career.
I don't remember who it was that had reposted that tweet, which is the only reason I saw it, but it was like, when I turn 30, I'm gonna become a country singer or something, and he's 29, so the person who like reposted that was like, we're glad you didn't make us wait another year. So he's had that, I don't know how long ago that tweet was, but he's had it in mind for a while.
I think Post is also one of those people, just because he's so chill, that he could kind of, even if one day he just decided he wanted to work on a ranch or do something else with his life, like he could kind of just like float around and do what he wants to do. Like, which will go into another topic of like Chapel's post about how she, like, I'll save that for later, but about like kind of how she wants to be able to do other things in life, and like this is only like, because I think in general, and I think people are, at least our generation, people think it's like we don't want to work, or it's like, I think we just want to find something like we're really passionate about, and be able, and not just be stuck in the same job forever, like, which I think should be exciting. It should show you that like people are willing to learn and work hard. I think that's the thing, is at least put your energy into what you're doing and make sure that you're producing 100% of your work. But just, I think we need to stop like forcing people to live out their entire lives doing one thing. And I think, again, I'm trying not to go too much into the Chapel stuff, because the Sabrina Carpenter album also kind of goes into my next topic of other things. So I'm trying to like seamlessly and not jump all over the place from each topic. But I think we definitely even lock like celebrities into one thing because we don't give them the room to do anything else. So it would just be kind of cool to like actually watch somebody do what they want to do, and it's not because they like completely fell off the earth. Like like child stars that like do that kind of stuff and then they do whatever they want, because then it looks like a sad, tragic story. I think we need to like open up the idea of just people being able to live any dream that they want to and have room for everybody at every table, kind of a thing. So
yeah, I was trying to think of I know there's plenty of child stars on like Disney or Nickelodeon.
The
where
Sprouse
it's, like,
twins just came to my mind about that.
No, they're
stuff,
still
but now
doing
they
stuff,
came back again.
Okay,
but like they originally
but I was
had
thinking
just
of
gone
people
to
who
school and
just
stuff
decided,
like
to go to school and become a teacher or something like that. I feel like there's someone who became a teacher. That's why that one, but I can't think of who. But I guess, do we want to do the ones I did and then Lane, or in my head, and then do Sabrina, if that like flows? I'll do with my, okay, maybe it's like 3/4. So because I was gonna say 1.5 with like half being Thomas Rhett, but then I forgot I did have one note of a single of
That's fine. Jelly
Roll had a song come out. The bass line at the beginning of the song is 9 to 5. It's just straight up 9 to 5. And I looked credit wise. Nope. Dolly's not credited. And I'm like, I feel like you probably should have.
But I don't think Dolly has to be credited for that. I think it's.
Or like the producer.
I was going to say,
but still, it's like none of the people from 9 to 5 are credited.
I think it's different when you sample, and also just because it's a bass line and you can't. There might be some legal reasons why.
Because I think it's a significant enough part of 9 to 5 that it is copyrightable.
Okay.
In my opinion, at least, that
it
bass line's so well known.
Yeah, but it also has to be a certain set of like.
But if it's memorable
time.
Yeah, I think it's one. I think it does meet whatever that time requirement is, because I'm thinking of that one lawyer that came and spoke at Belmont about this stuff. But then he says it also has to just be memorable, because he had the example of Jaws where it's literally 2 notes, but that's distinctive enough. But then I think of like Keith Urban, is it Coming Home, the Julia Michaels collab that had Mama Tried guitar on it, and they credited Merle on that. So
okay, I was gonna say maybe it's just like credit wise that it has to go to, because she's the songwriter, but it may just be whoever did that melody of it. So it's just like, I think,
I don't know, I was just like, sticky. I feel like you should put a credit on there, because that's very obvious.
Or maybe he legitimately just didn't notice, and then but if somebody comes after, that's gonna be like, oh yeah there's no way you can get around that, because then oh gosh, this is all copyright is a whole nother thing, and that'll be a fun one, because I think we could do the like guess the,
because it's like he's a big enough artist that
guess the samples kind of thing. We could play a game of that.
Yeah, like his team should know better than to just, I feel like they should have been like, hey, maybe we need to get this credited. But I don't know, we'll see if anything happens with that. But I was just like, this is 9 to 5. And then Thomas Rhett's album is actually really good. I don't know why I haven't been like vibing with him as much lately
either. I like old Thomas Rhett better than newer, because newer was definitely more country, and I liked when he had that pop flair to him. Yeah. So,
well, there's still some pop flair to some of it, because there's a song that was playing on the highway on repeat when I was in my dad's truck, where I'm like, that was very more pop, but like, yeah, there's some good ones on there, and there's like some little different vibe wise, I think. I can't think of all the lyrics. I really like Overdrive, which came out like prior to the album's release, but it's like overdrive, one word, of like putting that car into overdrive, but then it also has that double meaning of like, I'm on my way overdrive or something like that. I can't think of the exact lyric to make it actually hit, but I like the double meaning thing. But then he has one called Church, and I just had a feeling just by the title and knowing he's referenced Eric Church in other songs, I was like, is this gonna, don't do it. It's one, again, referencing Eric Church songs, and this is like the 3rd or 4th artist now since I released my single doing that has done that. But of course they're all bigger artists than me, so I'm like, okay, cool, love that for me. Because they'll get more recognition, obviously, than my song does. So it's fine. It is what it is. But I'm like, pick a new artist at this point, because I'm getting annoyed. Love that you love him too, but you would think there'd be more Taylor songs like that, but somehow
there's
a handful, but I don't know, it feels like there's not that many, but I don't know. But yeah, so I wasn't sure what this album would be originally, because it was just like called About a Woman, and it's like, you know who that is. And I'm like, we get it, you love your wife.
I know, that was kind of why, because he's one of those people that, again, not to be rude, but when I said that I don't like when artists just get married or have kids and that's what their whole albums are about, like, he was one of those people that like it just became like that, and I was like, okay, new topic time.
Yeah,
like I do
like that
Lauren, the love songs are needed, but it's only so interesting.
Yeah, I do like that Lauren recently has come out and been very open about how they have had struggles in their marriage, though, and so like I think it makes them more, I guess, humanized of a family, of like, hey, we have issues too, we're not just this picture perfect family.
Well, it's also just the fact that I think as songwriters, we definitely like romanticize life through songs. So like the bad is really bad, but then the good is really good. So like just taking those ideas and like running with them is like very easy to do in a song. So, and you're only focusing on one thing at a time a lot of the time. So
yeah. And then my like bigger one was Lady, because that came out yesterday. We're recording this on the 24th, so it came out yesterday on the 23rd. Whirlwind. Have you heard anything yet?
No. I didn't even know it was an album coming out.
Okay. Yeah, I probably listened to it through probably 5 times or so already, so it's really good. It's definitely, you can hear, it's just interesting that like Jay Joyce produces her and Eric Church, and there's like some things in this album that I recognize of like sounding Eric Church-esque, but I know it's just Jay Joyce's influence.
Yeah.
And I just really love his sound that he does with artists. So there's a lot of fun production things that are like not just your standard song and playing around with stuff. So yeah, and there's just like always a lot of good writing on it and stuff. Is a whirlwind a tornado?
I was thinking more in the sense of like,
I need to look up what a whirlwind is.
The feeling behind a whirlwind of just getting swept up in everything.
Yeah, my brain though, when I'm listening to it, I was like, because she's on the Twister soundtrack, and I was like, is it whirlwind a tornado? Because I was thinking like she had this whole album that she wanted to name that because it's like very applicable to where her life is now with all these things that are happening for her career, that it's like, okay, we're gonna save this for the album but then do a different song for the soundtrack. But then I'm like, wait, is a whirlwind a tornado or is it different? So,
I don't know, actually.
That was where my brain went listening a little bit. It's actually, I thought it was just legitimately gonna be about her career whirlwind wise, but it's actually a love song. So okay. It's like,
I was like, you could take that really and go anywhere with it. So
where a whirlwind, baby loving you's a breeze, or something like that.
Okay.
So.
Although that's very drastic emotion changes of like, we're a whirlwind, but it's a breeze.
Yeah, but like it's like easy loving you kind of thing. Yeah, I don't know. I really loved it. Middle of it was a really good song. It's like, I think it feels like she's singing to like herself in it, because it referenced boy, like a breakup of like that you really took a hit but you wrote a hit with it and stuff like that. But then also talking like, it starts with like high school, like you're a sophomore, and just kind of like how it's hard to see the growth and see the big picture when you're in the middle of it. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh, relate. Of like trying to keep that, or like, I don't know, I feel like for us it's hard of like there's so many things with your career that you're trying to do and don't know where to go with it and stuff, so it's kind of, you get lost in all these things but you're not really focused on where you're headed, or you don't even notice that you are growing while you're doing it.
Well, I mean, the only time I even realize I complain a lot to like my friends around me that are also in similar situations, but then when I'm talking to people outside of like my in circle or whatever, I'm always like, well, I'm about to go do X, Y, and Z, and I'm like, wow, I'm really sound like, and in my head I'm like, wow, I really actually have stuff to say here, and it's that step back of, why was I complaining? Like, anyone else on the outside is really like, she's doing it, so it's just very odd to be in the middle of it. That's for sure.
And I think we've talked about that a little bit before with high school friends when we were talking about that song too. So
yeah,
I don't want to reiterate too much, but I feel like that's probably one of my favorites on the album. But yeah, that's really good. I just bought the vinyl, so now I have it on vinyl.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Okay, so my last one is Sabrina Carpenter's album. Probably end after this album plus the little bit extra.
Okay.
Because I think it's more of just like a discussion point.
Okay.
So we can tie it up into a nice little bow. And then we will talk about the Chaperone thing in part 2. Do you want to do part 2 next? And then
we'll just, that should work fine.
Okay. So
I listened to it while cleaning.
It's called Short and Sweet, if you don't know. Sabrina Carpenter.
I wasn't like fully listening since it was like on while I was doing other stuff.
Right.
But I did listen.
I really loved the merch for it. Was so cute. I did get like that t-shirt that's like a lingerie, like one, you know, like when people
I haven't seen those.
It's so cute. I got it like extra big, so it's just like a sleeping t-shirt because it's like lingerie. It's a white shirt with like blue lingerie that she was wearing in the cover shoots for it. It's just like printed on it, so it's cute. It's like one of those
t-shirts with like the weird like where it looks like a hairy chest
or like stuff like that. Yes, that's exactly what I was about to say. So, but it's so cute. I love it. Got that. It was expensive for a t-shirt, but I was like, it's just so cute, and it's so like, that's good merch. Like, it's so on brand for her, and it was cute. Like, that's the merch I want to be wearing. Anyways, to have that, I want to get the vinyl, and I probably still will. Although I will say I was definitely a lot more excited for this album than I ended up listening to it and liking it. There's definitely some songs that even today when I was listening to it again in the car, like Good Graces is going to be one that grows on me for sure.
Okay.
I told myself, I was like, I want to like be actually listening to it because I want to give it its full undivided attention to give it a good review of what it was, because I knew a lot of people were going to be asking me about it in the first place because I like, this is like my cup of music. Like this is me. So I think Good Graces is going to be one of those ones that grows on people. Taste is a great way to start the album. Love the music video for it.
I haven't watched the video yet, but I know
everything. Jenny Ortega. Yes. All of that is fantastic. I think it has some good digs to ex-boyfriends, which is kind of funny in it. My problem becomes some of the songs start to sound like Ariana Grande songs, and in the way that it's like, okay, we get it, you're having good sex. Like, you don't need to create the whole album about it. Again, like, don't make an album about one thing.
Yeah, have some variety in your topics.
Like, even if it's a concept album, like,
you could still have different
though,
things,
and you still like it can tie other things to that concept. Like, anyways, it's a very short album, and I think maybe that's the reason it's called Short and Sweet. It's like, it is, but it is a short album. Her ending song, the I forget what it's called, but it goes like, cry, don't smile because it's
I think it's called Don't Smile.
Yes.
And it's the flip of, instead of don't cry before it's over, smile because it happened. Yeah. And it's flipped of like,
cry because it's over, because you should be missing me, which, first of all, I was like, great. It's also a fan-fucking-tastic way to end an album, because I was like,
I guess I didn't realize
genius.
That was the end.
Yes, it's so genius to like have something like that, because it's already like a closing time song, and then it's like it's just a funny, ironic way to end an album. Loved that. Like Slim Pickens,
her tone,
I don't understand. I think this album's also going to get a lot of attention because Jack's on it. I think she's obviously on a roll right now with where she is in her career, which is why I have a lot of things to say about. That scared the shit out of me. Sorry, something fell.
I saw clips of whatever that event was where she played with Jack.
Yeah.
And she played Slim Pickens, and I was like, this sounds very country. And then, like, when I heard the full production, I'm like, oh, this is more country leaning. And I think her tone sounds like Dolly-esque. So I like the tone being more Dolly on that. There was already
with Please, Please, Please leaning into that. And I think she does have some things to her. I don't know where it comes from or if it's just because, again, with everyone kind of going country and it was maybe just like a fun little pick at things. And I think because she's doing the whole like classic Hollywood thing, I think sometimes maybe she's just like pulling from other aspects of a lot of things. Yeah. Maybe when she did like, I don't know. Maybe it's just also Jack too, because obviously he like writes with a lot of people and Taylor being one of them, and Taylor also doing some country-esque stuff with him. Maybe he just had some inspiration.
Maybe.
Don't know. Maybe she came to Nashville and was like, I just want to write a country song, and it ended up being that. You know? Like, maybe she just wanted to. I don't know.
Who knows?
That one's funny. But then there's a couple songs, and my thing is this is not Sabrina Carpenter's first album. It's the first album a lot of people are hearing from her.
Yeah.
I have known her music since the very beginning, and so I've watched her be a lot of different versions of herself, and I've watched a lot of people on TikTok and YouTube talk about her transformation and why she's finally starting to get her recognition and all that. So I've taken in all of that analysis of her career and stuff like that, and how she's finally starting to kind of get this recognition. And I think because of that recognition, like, especially super stans of hers are going to claim this album as, like, a superior album and all that stuff. I think there are still, this is not, like, I've never had a no-skip album from her. I think she still has a lot of work on that area of making, like, full albums really, really strong. Which is also very hard to do for an artist. Like, a lot of my favorite artists, I definitely have a lot of skips on their albums. Like, I'm not saying that that's, like, a tier that is like completely achievable for everyone all the fucking time. Like, I get that, and I wanted to love it all, but there was a lot of ones that fell short, like Sharpest Tool or something like that. It's all over the place, and it has a lot of different things going on that I'm like, okay, let's like rein it into like one thing, because the chorus is really strong, but then the verses are like everywhere, and I just don't like, care for it. Coincidence is kind of a boring song. Bedchem was fun and flirty, and I loved it for what it is. I think because this is the niche that now she's getting recognized for, obviously she's going to turn that up, and that's going to be like where she's going in the direction of the music. So I kind of already saw that that was what was going to happen, and that's what we're going to hear from her. I don't think it's the most authentic and genuine side of her, and I think that's where we're gonna lose a lot of, like, if Emails I Can't Send was the album that blew her up, I think she'd be more in touch with her feelings and her emotions and her songs, and actually give us a lot more depth to the music she's writing, because she got famous off of something that went viral, and she really dug into that, and then Espresso went really well, and then Please, Please, Please went really well. That's the side of her that we're getting, is this fun, cheeky, little flirty, but that's all that we're going to get. And so I think her album is going to lose a lot more of that depth, which is kind of unfortunate, because I really think Emails I Can't Send is one of her best work. I get that people say that there are a lot of skip songs on it. I get that. And I do like that she's playing a lot more with sounds and stuff. I think sonically, this album is very unique, and I love that about it. And that's where I kind of was going into this fact of she got famous off of something that went viral at her concerts, because Nonsense wasn't even big when the album came out. Like, it was only the outros at her shows that went viral on TikTok that then made everyone care about the song. But no one cared about the song before the outros became a thing. Okay. So it's more that viral moment. And we keep talking about how people are, like, less likely to go out and discover a lot more new music lately, but they want to be a part of the viral moments. But it's hard for artists to get onto the stage without having a viral moment on TikTok or anything, period. So it's like this whole thing about just revolving around the fact that, like, you're not viral from the stuff that you're doing just sitting in your house, but you're also not getting out there to perform to create that viral moment. And it's very noticeable when things aren't super genuine. And so that's why I'm like, how far is this niche of hers actually going to go? Because it's only going to go so far. And why I bring up Ariana Grande is because I think I think we're all starting to get kind of sick of the, okay, you're having good sex. Like, what else is there to you? And the reason that Ariana Grande is not the superstar she could be is because of her song choices. So I don't want Sabrina to fall into that, because I think she could be really big and stuff. And I like the fun performance aspects of it. Like, don't get me wrong. And I think that all that stuff is still really strong and good. And I think why Chapel started to get really big was she was having the viral moments of these big concert experiences. Like, I highly doubt people are going to her shows just to not be in, like, I don't think it would be as big if people weren't making it a big deal on social media about how big those crowd sizes are. And if you can say that you were at those big crowd sizes doing the hot to go dance, like, that's a story for your friends right there, you know?
Yeah. She did have that one song that you shared on your story, though, that I feel like had more depth to it. Was it Don't Lie to Girls? Is that the title?
That one. Okay, so that's the only reason I posted really that. I said that is I wanted to say that was the superior of the album, but I didn't want people to, like, misinterpret what I was trying to say with it. That song is the best song on the album because it's depth, it's everything, it's amazing.
Yeah, for people who haven't listened to it, it's basically like, what is it? It's like, Don't Lie to Girls. Is that the title, though?
Don't lie to girls, because like, if they like you, they'll lie to themselves about why you're so good and stuff like that. And that was such like, holy shit. Like, that was a gut punch, because it's so true for everyone who's been in a relationship. Guys do lie to girls so often, and it's so stupid, and it's just like, I really loved that song, and it was like the most depth. And I think the people that like like Sabrina Carpenter are liking her for, like, I saw a lot of people post about Bedchem. And I was like, I think there's the two different listeners. It's the people that posted about Don't Cry or Don't Lie to Girls. Yeah. And it's the people that posted about Bedchem.
Or like Taste, because that's like the new single,
which was fantastic. It was a great way to start the album, and I loved it. So don't get me wrong. And I love her flirty fun. When I listened to Nonsense the first time, I was like, this is a fucking great song. Like, trust me, I'm all for it. I just don't think that this, and people are going to say whatever they want, I just don't think this is like the genuine Sabrina Carpenter. And so it's just like, how long is it going to last? But again, we were talking about, that's the whole point of, like, creating your brand and creating that viral moment. But it only comes so far if it's not supernatural. So it's like, we'll see what happens. But
there's teasers for the music video. People were commenting like, girl, you just got out of jail in the last music video. But
people have been comparing it a lot
but I've seen like the bloody, like, it was Sabrina and Jenna, I don't know what the sound was, but it was just like the bloody chainsaw and stuff, and then they start laughing at the end. I'm like, okay.
Murder or Death Becomes Her, it's supposed to be a parallel to that movie with Meryl Streep.
I don't know that movie.
So that's what I've seen it compared to a lot. I also don't know that movie. I've just seen a bunch of, like, stills from it and being compared to it. Okay. So that's on our list to watch, apparently. I think it's like a culty classic kind of movie, so.
Okay. Cool.
But I just think it was just interesting to bring up the fact that it just coincides with the whole viral moments of things, and I think she's going to get a lot of recognition for this album, but, like, is it the album that deserves the recognition? In my opinion, I don't think so. Okay. I think Emails I Can't Send should have been that.
But I haven't listened to that one, so I can't really have an opinion on it.
But it didn't get the credit that it deserves, because there are a lot, because the boppy song, I wish that the depth of that album plus the boppiness of this album had a baby, and then it would be the perfect album for her, and then I think she'd have both sides of it. You know, I think unfortunately she kind of is the losing battle of a lot of, like, the famous moments she does have, and she kind of loses it all, because, like, Emails I Can't Send was on everyone's radar for a little bit because I Liked a Boy was about the Joshua Bassett thing. But Olivia kind of won out in that sense. So now I think, and again, a lot of things come down to relationships, as stupid as it is, because it's like, okay, between Barry and her, now Barry and her are separated, and guess who kind of won the breakup here is her.
I didn't pay enough attention to, like, say all details of what they're talking about. it might have been for Taste. I don't remember what song even, but they're saying basically like the whole Sabrina Olivia thing is now happening with like apparently Sabrina dated Shawn Mendes and then so
right
Camila
before Camila
and Sabrina.
Cabello, and Camila looks exactly like how Jenny was dressed in the music video, so there's a lot of similarities there. So
there's been talk about that drama.
And she has 2 songs on there. I forget which ones they are, but one talks about a lot of it points to Joshua Bassett and like saying F you to him. And then the other one was talking about her relationship with Shawn and how Camila like kind of swept in and like he was cheating on her, I guess, or something like that had happened. And like, oh, like, so it's, and I think a lot of it is kind of about Shawn. So,
okay.
Which I didn't realize that they were that involved, I guess. My last comment I will say is that people want to bring up the whole her being maybe gay because she or bi or something like that, which first of all, why the fuck do we care about celebrities' sexualization so much? Don't fucking know. Or sexuality, like who gives a fuck at the end of the day?
Yeah.
But I wanted to get through that whole point to say, like, hey, look, you can talk about other things besides that. Mm-hmm. But in the music video, she does kiss Jenny Ortega. And so that's been a big thing. Because everyone's like, oh my God, Jenna. I heard Jenny on the radio.
You've said
today,
Jenny multiple times. So
I thought it was Jenna too, but then I thought I was saying it wrong because I heard multiple people say Jenny. Okay, anyways. That's what I thought it was too.
Yeah. I feel like I've heard Jenna for when I hear about her with Wednesday.
So I do know her name. It's just I thought I was wrong because other people were saying it wrong. So I thought I was in the wrong. Anyways, so it had me second guessing myself. So last point I'll make, because I know we're really talking about it and I didn't mean to make it this big of a thing. But they kiss in the music video, but then also there is a line later. If anyone, like, just leave it at this, is the fact that later in the song, in one of her songs, which is funny, she says, I didn't have my gay awakening. So I think she just told everybody that she is straight.
The good Lord forgot
my gay awakening. So I think she just told everybody she's straight.
Yeah, people were commenting about, like, because she covered Chapel, and they're like, that's the straightest cover of Chapel I've ever seen.
Well, no, that, like, turned everybody and was like, oh my God, no, she's not straight. Like, because everyone was...
But then the other people were arguing at that point, though.
But, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, she just told you, leave it.
But also, like...
Period. Close the conversation. She told us. She didn't need to, but she did. So listen to that goes with the whole Chapel thing too, which will be part 2, because obviously we're rambling on way too long. And the Chapel thing, I'm sure, will be a whole other conversation, because it doesn't even need to be a conversation, but apparently it does, because people are people and they're annoying.
Yep.
Love you. Bye. So we'll leave it there.
Yeah.
We'll go take a break,
right.
And we'll see you guys next time for part 2.
Which will be out a week after this one. But I guess we should say our ending stuff, though, still. So you can, if you have thoughts or anything, you can email us at themusiclenspodcast@gmail.com.
Any new music we should talk about.
Yeah, things like that. If you're an artist and you have experiences you want to share that we can then share with people too, that as well. Socials are at the Music Lens Podcast on all the things. If you want to keep up with us, see when we're posting our episodes, any other things that we're posting. I think we want to, I don't know if we'll get a content day in or not. It's because you're in a musical now. But I think we want to do one at some point. So I guess keep an eye out for that. We'll schedule it for
early next year.
Yeah, sure. At Alex Lager Music on all the things. If you want to see what Alex is up to, if you want to follow me, you can find me at Katie Fee Music on all the things. And we'll see you for part 2 next time.
Bye.